One of the worst like contract negotiations of all time, I think.
Yeah, he held out,
Him like
right?
holding out from the Chargers just to get paid less on the Broncos and
God,
get cut a few years later.
happens every time. Every time a player
Yep.
holds out.
Yep.
All
Don't
right.
hold out.
You already mentioned it. Bengals, Steelers. Let's go to it. Kenny Pickett continues to look like an NFL quarterback.
I guess that's like the best compliment you can give him.
Yeah, that's
Um,
the best I got.
I mean they hung in there for a while. The Steelers defense, it seemed like just owns Joe Burrow, and somehow
Rent
he worked
free.
through it. Even through like, did you see the Watt interception, which was like a carbon
Yes.
copy
Yep.
from the one from Week 1?
Yes. I
So
think he
I
should
think
do that every time.
he will. And
Like
Burrow's just like, I have to stop throwing that. He's a
it's
D lineman.
seeing
He takes
ghosts.
away half the field.
Seeing ghosts.
Yeah.
So
But credit to Burrow for working through that against his daddy, basically.
he's thrown
Steelers.
6 interceptions, or I think 8 interceptions this year. 6 of them against the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
talk
Really
about
impressive.
owning. And even though they don't win, it's not like they win the Steelers. They just own him, specifically him. And I
Yeah.
guess they did win week 1. I forgot about that.
Yeah. No, they beat him.
But even though the Bengals are much better, they will still own Burrow.
I wanna see more George Pickens.
We gotta unlock him.
Like
He's gotta
because
just.
it's like it feels like every week there's like an incredible catch that he
Yep.
makes, and then you look at his numbers and you're like, what? Like how's he not getting the
Yeah,
ball
you're
more?
like, what happened? I thought he had this great
Yeah.
catch. And you're like, well, yeah, he had 3. 3
Yeah.
catches.
Right.
The You're right. He needs to be unlocked. He's definitely
Mhm.
he's right up there with Deontay Johnson. And it's just those 2 guys, really. I mean, Gunnar got
Freiermuth.
yeah, Firemuth.
Freiermuth is like slowly becoming one of the better tight ends in the league.
He's just consistent. He's a
Yep.
nice, consistent uh safety net for Kenny Pickett. But
Yeah, and
if
you need a guy like that as a rookie.
oh, definitely. It makes the job a lot easier. And it's weird why I don't think we'll get to the Pats, but I don't think why I don't know why they don't use the 2 tight ends that they paid a lot of money for to do the same thing.
Yeah.
They don't even do them like that.
But you're right. I mean, you're right about Pickett. Like, there's reason to be optimistic there,
Yeah.
and they're set up on offense. Like, if they can improve the line, that's probably the main focus this offseason. But like, it seems like he's got good chemistry with Pickens and Freiermuth, and I don't know about Deontay Johnson. Like, he's still probably their most talented receiver, but I know if you can get Najee Harris turned around next season, like this probably isn't the norm for him. They're set up pretty well for success.
Yeah, and they have a good defense. They always really have a
Mhm.
good defense. So you're right. You beef up that offensive line, try to get it the best you can, and just keep working with what you got. The Steelers, I mean, they're one of the model organizations in the NFL. I feel like most of the time.
Mhm. Right, and
Um,
they're well coached
yeah, and
every
yeah,
year.
well cultured, well coached. They're set up. If you're a fan, this is just a lull year, and you'll get back to it eventually.
Yeah.
Whether it's
We'll
next
be
year.
saying something different when they get beat like 30-0 next week.
But that the other thing is they
Yeah, never
can
mind
this
about the
can
Colts.
happen. I feel like, and not against the Colts or the Falcons, but like if that
Yeah.
the Ravens come to town and whoop them, I don't know. I don't
Nah,
think
those
that'll
games are
happen.
always close.
Yeah, I think they started, especially the last couple weeks, have been playing close games. I guess not against the Eagles or the Bills, but that was a while ago. I feel like I don't know. They're a decent enough team.
We're work in
Yeah,
progress.
they're work in progress. That's good way to put it.
And TJ Watt has changed everything.
He really
Like when
is.
he was out, it was almost like they were hopeless, but he's
He's
a
everything
freak.
to that defense. He just completely
Yeah.
rechanges it.
Yeah.
All right, actually, we forgot about the 2 night games. So Monday night, kind of a snooze fest, but Jimmy G, 4 tutties.
Okay. Yeah, it's almost like last week. He's like, "Oh, you want to see me throw touchdowns? Then I'll throw touchdowns. Give me this sorry Cardinals team. I'll show you what I can do."
So he's gonna be a free agent next at the end of this year. His team's again at the first of the NFC West, and a weak NFC where he's done it before, made his way to the Super Bowl. Be a big payday for him.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see what the Niners do. Say, this is getting well ahead of ourselves, but say he wins a playoff game or is in the playoffs and looks decent. What do you do if you have with Trey Lance and then him? They're back in the same situation they were last year.
Yep. It's tough because you got such a small sample size with Lance, and it wasn't good.
No,
But
it
you also
wasn't.
spent so much capital on him.
Yeah, you're almost forced to give him another shot, I guess.
Unless you
But
trade him.
you trade Lance,
Yeah.
you could definitely bait a team into giving you at
Mhm.
least a second and something else.
Yeah, I mean, maybe a team like I
Well,
don't know,
think about
like
it. The
the
Panthers or the
Jets,
Jets. Yeah.
Zach Wilson,
Nah,
woof.
yeah, Zach
Yes
Wilson.
to that too. But I don't know, even like Washington,
Yeah. Just a team that wants an upgrade. What about, I don't know, like Seattle? Actually, I guess they're not going to trade him to Seattle, but
probably not.
there's teams that are going to look for him and look for his
Mhm.
services. So, I don't know. It's gonna be a weird situation, and I'm happy for Jimmy. I always love it.
I am too.
I love Jimmy.
Yeah.
And him and Colt McCoy. Did you see the walk-in video? How they cut
Mm-mm.
from him to Colt. What do you? It's not your fault, Colt. You were behind. He was stunted up in the suit. Like it's not your fault, Colt. You couldn't have done anything better. All right, Chiefs Chargers. Excellent Sunday night football game.
Yep.
Classic
I mean,
Chargers.
this is what we get from these two teams.
Every time it feels like.
I think. Yeah.
It seems like it's the same game every single time.
Yep.
And they
It's
always
like you just know how it's
yeah,
gonna end.
they always leave too much time for Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
It's every single time. And even if it's not against the Chargers, it's like every time it's on Sunday night. It's like, all right,
Right.
well, you left,
Every time the Mahomes on prime time, you mean?
yeah, it's like, all right, you left, 30 seconds from home, too much time.
Yeah, it's like scripted.
Yeah, it is like scripted. And the Chiefs coming out and saying Travis Kelce's the best tight end. As a Pats fan, I feel like I have to take a stance and say all around player, stats wise and offensive production wise, Travis Kelce might be the better player. But all around blocking, chemistry with the quarterback, it's gotta be Gronk.
Do you think Gronk had better chemistry with Brady than Kelsey does with Mahomes?
I
It's
think
like
that's
28 touchdowns this year.
yeah. I mean, but come on, Brady and Gronk, they're on they're on the same page for 20 years. And I guess not even 20, no, not 20 years.
Years.
Sorry, not 20 years. Tom.
6.
Yeah, like 6 or 7. My bad. But dominated in the league their whole time. And I guess Travis has kind of done the same thing. He's getting up there. It's
And
hard and harder and harder
Kelsey
to
also, I hate to bring it up, but Kelsey also has not dealt with the injuries. Gronk was always hurt.
that's the main factor against Gronk. It's why his stats aren't better.
Yeah.
And it's a big dent on the comparison of the two. So I don't know. It's a tough argument, and it would be fun to look at, lay everything out, and look at it all. But
Hmm.
it's getting from my time as it being, Gronk definitely to where there's no argument. It's definitely come around to it's harder to defend the Gronk stance.
Yeah.
But they're rolling. Back to the game. They're figuring it out. It doesn't matter who they're thrown to if you have Travis Kelce on the field. It just doesn't, like with Mahomes. It doesn't matter. Tony gets hurt. Valdez Scantley doesn't do anything. He gave Sky Moore the ball 5 times. Worked out.
Every time I see 24, it bothers me.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. It's really messed up.
Your boy Clyde had a nice day.
Solid game from Clyde. Nice 9
He
yards.
got the ball.
And he got the ball early. I was like, no way. I was like, come on. And then he gets injured immediately. I was like, Jesus. So he's just I don't know what to do with him. I'm bidding everything I own on Latavius Murray this week. And it's Latavius Murray. Like I'm using all of my free agency
Right.
for him. I need Odell
a
to
Wise
get on
Bowl
the team.
coming up this week,
Oh, we play each other again?
which is a huge game for me.
It's a revenge game too. After
I've won like 4 in a row.
yeah. Your
I think
last
I'm a
loss
game
was.
out of the playoffs.
I think your last loss was to me
I think it was by like the Mike
by the
Williams
Mike
game.
Williams catch. Yeah,
Gosh, that game
that was so ridiculous.
made me homicidal. Could not believe that.
Oh, my team continues to just find ways to win.
I know, and that's what I'm worried
They
about.
figure it out every week.
Like I'm better than you.
It doesn't
I'm
matter.
not
Every
like
team's
I
better.
it, and
Like
it
almost every team in
does
the
not
league's
matter.
better than me. It doesn't matter. All right.
Yeah,
Speaking of Mike
that's
Williams, he's I guess back. Keenan Allen did something. He's back too.
yeah. Keenan Allen has played. They said his 3rd game. I thought it was only his 2nd. But
I have no idea, but if I drafted him in fantasy, I would have been pissed.
yeah,
And I love
so.
the Josh Palmer thing. I know it was all over Twitter and everything, but it was so funny that he went off the second they came back. It's just such a classic
Mm.
fantasy football move
Right.
where it's like if I still had Mike Williams and I had Josh Palmer on my team, I definitely would have cut him. Got put
Yeah.
back Mike Williams, and then bam, that happens. You're just like,
Yeah.
I hate this.
Well,
But
what are you gonna do?
now, what are you gonna do? All right,
Unfair game.
we got a couple games to go over still.
Well, our
Bill-
teams.
Bills. And both of our teams. All right, let's run through these quick then. Bills. I thought they were gonna lose. They didn't. I thought they were gonna lose like during the first
The first half was
half,
sketchy.
yeah.
First
And
half
then
was very
they took
sketchy.
care of business at the end. And the
Yeah,
Browns.
that's right.
The Browns. I don't know. They're not very good. Jacoby looked
Set
good.
another strong
Yeah, Jacoby
strong
looked good.
performance. They just keep losing.
And Amari Cooper, great performance.
Yeah, Cooper has quietly had a really good year.
Yeah. It's because he's on this
I mean,
bad
he
Browns
has-
team that literally no one cares about. The only thing
50
people care about
catches,
is how much they
700 yards, and
hate.
7 touchdowns. That's a good year.
That is a good year. The only thing people
It's
care
gonna
about
go
with the
for 1,000
Browns
yards.
is how much they hate Watson.
Oh yeah, and shouldn't it be
I think
this week that he comes back?
I think it is this week. Is it really?
Let's see.
Do they play the Ravens?
No, they play.
No, they play the Tex.
I thought it was against
It's
the
the Texans game. Yeah, it's a Texans.
What's in next week then?
It's funny. They announced like
Yeah.
it was like 3 weeks away on something on Twitter, or he's coming back to practice. So now every week it's like this Watson back this week, and it's like not like
Yeah,
a
right.
excitement. It's just like we just want to see him crumble.
We just want to see what happens.
Yeah, we just want to see him crumble and fail. The
So we
Texans.
hope.
The Texans are they're gonna get.
But the Texans are such a joke.
No, they're gonna. We'll go there now. They're gonna get slaughtered by Watson, which is gonna suck. So the Commanders, they're right in it, Chris.
Oh, I know.
Right there.
I'm very excited. This is the most excited I've been in a long time.
it-
Well, I
it-
guess when they won the division, I was excited, but it didn't last.
No, but it's also all the Dan stuff. It's like
Yeah,
you,
the Dan
it's-
stuff changes everything.
It's all on top where it's like you actually have some sort of hope that it can get
Yeah.
better.
But like the thing about this game, and people will say like, oh, they played the Texans. Who cares? I don't know if you remember what we were saying before the game, but before the game, we were saying this is scary.
It's a letdown spot.
They're a
That's what we were
3-point
saying.
favorite. This is a huge letdown spot, and it didn't affect them at all. They didn't come in and win a squeaker like I said they would. They dominated from start to finish. It was never close. From like the first Texans drive, like 6, game was over.
Yeah, no, and
I mean,
it
he
was
was fine.
instantly.
Yeah,
It was instantly.
he had Commander fans in Houston.
There's a
It was
whole
funny.
there's a whole new stigma around the team.
Yeah,
There
there's
really
not a
is.
stench.
Nope. It's nice. I like it.
Yeah.
And
But I mean, if they found the formula, which is they have 2 really good running backs. Antonio Gibson has revived his career.
the
'Cause
weapon's
at the beginning
back.
of the season, it was like this
The
guy,
weapon
like
is back.
we're kind of done with him. He's a kick returner. Robinson's our guy. And even the first couple of games of the year, Gibson was like he was fine, but nothing special. He just needed that like the side piece.
He needs the 1-2
'Cause
because he's not
He's the dynamic back. He's not
Yes.
the hard like the smash mouth guy. Brian Robinson is that guy.
He's
and he's
the
good at what he
bouncy
does.
ball.
Yeah.
Or bowling ball, not bouncy ball.
Bowling ball. He had
He's-
one run where he got like It was 3rd and short, and he got stuck behind the backfield and somehow spun out of it and broke 2 more tackles for a 3-yard run and a first down. And it was the best 3-yard run I've ever seen.
That's the thing about him is that he only gets like 4-yard runs, but they're sweet. He's just like not.
And it's exactly what you need at that moment.
Yes. And he's not, he doesn't, if it's like a 3rd down, you're right, 3rd and short, exactly what you need. He doesn't let people bring him down. He'll just
Yeah,
keep
he
moving
doesn't.
his legs back and forth, back and forth. And it might not, it'll look like he's on a treadmill, but
Mm.
he'll get there eventually. It's
Did you
pretty
know he got
awesome.
shot?
I did know he got shot. Is it all over the broadcast when you watch it?
Oh, yeah.
Sure, it's like every carry.
It is incredible, though.
No, it is.
Especially like the way that he plays. It's incredible. But it's the running game and the defense. And again, I know the Texans offense is sorry, but that was a game where like I said, immediately the defense came in and said, "You guys are not. You don't even deserve to be on the field with us. We're better
John
than you.
Ridgeway
We're
literally
gonna live."
picked up Dameon Pierce, slammed him on. Do you see that? Slammed him. Basically, like, get off the field. Man, they held one of the. Remember, we were like, oh, Dameon Pierce could run all over you. Nope.
No. The run defense has been shockingly good for a team that always has poor run defense. And it's like with the D line, that was the one thing that we worried about because it was like they're gonna get to the quarterback, but your only run stopper is Payne. Like your linebackers suck. Like Allen has stepped up. Payne has had an excellent year, especially
The
down
Shadow's
the
been
stretch.
decent enough.
Shadow's been all right, and like Holcomb's not even playing.
And you're
And he
getting
was-
Chase Young back this week. He's activated.
Yep, he should play.
So you guys got the Falcons at home. You should try to find tickets. You gotta go to this.
So
game.
I don't think I'm going to this one. I might go to the Giants game.
Dude, but the Falcons would be so much fun to go to. They're just such
Why?
because they're just a frisky, fun team. You're seeing a great matchup at least.
Yeah, I guess I'd get to see my favorite coach in action.
Yeah, you could see his boobs and his chinless face in person.
But yes, my mother and I have talked about going to a game.
Nice, the
So
return.
it's in the works. That's right. First time in how long has it been? It was Haskins' rookie year. We went to a preseason game.
Oh, that doesn't even count.
And the year before that, we went. It was the Falcons. Was the last game I went to. Last real game with Alex Smith.
Oh, really?
So yeah, this will be my 1920. This is my 4th year in a row not going to a game.
Break the streak.
Break it. If they're winning games, still going to that Giants game, I will go.
All right, lock it in.
But
Come on, Commanders.
the
Come
foot
on,
on the
FedEx
pedal.
Field. We got to get the wise guy in town. All right, I guess my turn. This was just a horrific game. Did you watch? I mean, I'm guessing if you watch Red Zone, you didn't see a second of it. So
I didn't see a second. I saw the highlight of the punt return.
that's literally the only. Like there was a couple good. The Pats actually moved the ball pretty decently. There's a couple of missed field goals by Folk, so it would have been over already. But it was pretty bleak the whole time. Both teams were looking horrendous. The kick return. That's it. That was the play that did.
That was exciting.
It was exciting. So I was
There is
watching.
no play in sports like the punt return touchdown, especially at that point in the game. That's
with 5 seconds left.
shocking.
Oh,
Like a walk-off home run.
I was watching with a Jets fan, and great. I love Carlos. Shout out Carlos, great guy. We're watching. Great respect for both teams the whole time. Every time there's like a play or whatever, we're just talking about it, watching the game. The kick return happens.
Dude changes.
He just straight face. He goes GG, dabs me up, doesn't say bye to anyone else, just walks out the door. Couldn't handle it. There was still seconds on the clock, and I was like, they could have done
like,
something.
no,
Nope,
call
he
it.
was out. He was done.
I've done that at games before.
I
remember
respect it.
Redskin Cowboy game where Kirk Cousins threw a pick in like the final minutes. I was like, we're out.
Yeah, we're done.
Walk out, no words. Just got up and left.
Got up, leave. I respect it. Like, all right,
Yeah.
like that. There you go. And that was a worthy, like that was horrific loss for them. And Zach
There's
Wilson
very few ways to lose
sucks.
a game that are worse than that,
Yeah.
especially when you're subject to. It's one thing if it was like
No,
a
but you were
fun
subject to
competitive
watch the
game.
whole game.
You had to watch the whole thing with no excitement.
No, that was the issue. It
Didn't
was
even
like
sniff the end zone.
we were talking about it, like, oh, if you went to the game, like, would you still be there? It'd be like, yeah, you have to. You have to stay the whole
Yeah, you gotta
time.
see how it ends.
And
If
the
ever go to the game and not stay for the ending.
no, exactly. Especially if it's, I mean, it's a one possession game. Any team that scores,
Yes.
you have no idea if that's gonna be the final score. And oh my god, like I'm telling you, like that was awful, terrible, terrible game. Mac Jones, and like you could look at the stats all you want that he had a good
He
game.
has good numbers.
He has great numbers, and he moved the ball, but every time it was third down, you know who was falling right on the ground? Mac Jones. A defender over there. Just let me just run to the sack every time. He never realizes when someone's breathing down his neck,
Yeah.
and if it's third down, just know he's getting sacked every time. And or like a fun play happens, it's like holding call. Say,
Yeah.
"Oh, take that shit back. We can't have
They
fun.
just weren't allowed to have
No,
fun.
we're not allowed to have fun." And David Andrews is the story of the week for the Pats right now. He got injured in the game. They thought he was out for the season. And he turns out he's at practice. He's not slowing down. I don't know if he's playing Thursday, but he's a much needed player on the offensive line because the offensive line sucked. And I think it's a mixture of the Jets defense is good and that the play calling is awful on the Pats.
Yeah, so this is one where, I always give you crap for complaining about your wins. It's tough to take out one play, especially but if you take out the punt return, I mean, like
I was like, we're gonna have to. I was talking to
just
my
absolute
Carlos.
aggression.
I was like, are we actually gonna have to watch overtime? We're gonna have to watch overtime for this
A
garbage.
3-3 tie would have been great.
That's what I was waiting for it. I was expecting it to happen, and I swear, I don't. If the punt return didn't happen, I think it would have been a 3-3 tie. When they punted it, I have to give myself credit. You can ask the people I was watching it with. I did go. I was like, this is our only chance to score.
Oh boy.
I said it, and it was
That's
crazy.
huge.
It was crazy. I was like, "Oh my god!" I didn't think actually, because Marcus Jones. I mean, he's been a great returner all year, and I mean, nothing that crazy. But yeah, I mean, I'll take it. I'll definitely take it. It was a much needed win.
And the other thing is, what makes it better for you is you can compare yourself to the Jets, and I would rather have half of Mac Jones than Zach Wilson.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
Zach Wilson.
we've been talking about it the whole year, kind of like not even on the fence. Like we knew he wasn't good, but they were winning, so it was kind of like, we won't talk about it.
He sucks.
It's time to talk about it.
He might get
He's a
benched.
mess.
He might get benched next week. Robert Saleh hasn't confirmed.
It's gotten to the point in the season where like you're in the playoff hunt. But you're also a very young team, and it's his first full year. I don't know if you pull the string on him now. I feel like you almost just gotta ride it out with him.
I think.
What do you think?
I like that. I like that the mindset. I just think the way that he's been acting, where apparently he's been apparently around practice, he's acting like it's not his fault.
No,
I saw it's funny to say, but like if that's actually how he's acting, it's team over everyone else. And if you're a coach and you see that type of crap, I think you just pull. It doesn't matter like what his career projection is. Doesn't matter. They didn't take him second overall. It's a whole different regime. So
that's true.
I don't know. I think it's just like call it. Well, is it a whole different regime? Were they there last year? Or was this Robert?
Douglas was. Douglas has been there for a few years. But Saleh didn't draft him.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, so I think I don't know. I think you just say screw it. If he's a turd in practice, if all that
If
stuff
he's a
is true,
turd, then yeah, I'm all for
yeah,
it.
if that's all
If
true,
he's
it's all out. But if he's willing to get better, then yeah, do it. I like what you said. Make sure don't kind of pull it now just because he's been playing bad, but pull it now because he's acting like a turd.
he's turdish.
Yeah, he's a turd. Ryan Lee fires back after fans call Zach Wilson Mormon Ryan Lee. I kind of want to see what he says. See, all right. On the contrary, there's the next Yahoo Sports. So Justin Fields apologized to his team. Did you see that?
Fields.
Yeah.
Why?
Justin.
Because they throw the game away every week.
Yeah, he said that the defense did their job and the offense didn't. And I think that's
See,
really
that's a man.
yeah.
That's a quarterback.
Yep.
That's what you say.
Leader of men. That's what you got to be.
Man, yeah.
Where's his clap? I want to see what he
Exactly.
said.
Just like the him walking around like he's not the problem. You know, you can like picture it too.
Yes, you look at his
He
face.
just kind of struts around and
Well, and that video of
which is a
him.
hysterical
Do you
report.
see the report where the guy was like, "Hey, do you think that the offense let down the defense?" And he said, "No."
Yeah, he's like, no,
The-
like, dude,
During that video,
didn't
you look at
score.
it, you go, "What are you talking about?" Like he looks
like
and
nine.
he looks like he
9 for
doesn't even believe in
22.
himself. He just wants to say that it wasn't him.
He's in denial. I think.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Yeah, he is a bum.
It didn't help that the Pats defense. I believe in this Pats defense. I
They
know
are
it's the
good.
Jets, but I believe in this
That's a
Pats
good
defense.
unit.
All right.
And like, why shouldn't you be?
Yeah. It seems like every week they do well besides against the Bears. I don't know what happened there.
The leader of men.
Yes, the leader of men. Oh,
Vanquished.
we were almost done. We have Saints.
I thought that we said we're not talking about it unless they start Jameis.
Oh, you're right. All right. Well,
I'll talk about the Rams real quick.
Did you know that they cut Daryl Henderson
I did not know
right
that.
before the pod? They cut him.
Damn, breaking news.
But yeah, it was weird. Won a Super Bowl with him.
I also feel like it's like late in the season to cut guys.
Yeah,
Like-
they also cut some linebacker. I feel bad for all these guys. It says why the Rams
Ooh.
shouldn't consider signing Melvin Gordon. Maybe because he's bad.
And they're 3-7. Like, what is Melvin Gordon gonna do for you?
They don't know what to do. Bryce Perkins is starting for him next week, I'm pretty sure, because Matt Stafford got injured again.
I like Perkins.
I liked him. I liked him
cool.
too. I think he's cool. I like to see just like these weird running ish, just like you don't really know what they do quarterbacks. I like seeing them
Right.
start. Like not even Wolford, but who is the guy on Miami after Teddy? Skylar
Oh.
Thompson. It's like that guy. Like I want more guys like that, where it's like this is like
Yeah.
this is just a
Maybe
man
1 week
creative
of 'em.
player,
Right.
and it's like I want to see
When,
what this guy does.
Kendall Hinton started for the Broncos. When they had
Yes,
no
yes.
quarterbacks.
Which he's sneakily a decent wide receiver for them.
I always forget that he's still on the team, and every time I hear his name, that's what I think of.
Every time
Like,
he scores a
Kendall
touchdown, I'm
Hinton,
like,
he's
oh, the guy
that
who started
that one game, the
Yes,
quarterback.
Yes.
When Blake Bortles infected the whole quarterback room with COVID.
That's gonna be a story I'll remember till the day I die.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you remember?
Yeah, it was a
remember
wise
Kendall
pick. I
Hilton?
remember. It was like the
Yeah, I
Saints
think
were
it
like
was.
-5 against a team that had no quarterback.
Pretty sure it was a wise pick. All right, I think that that does it. Next, so we got a packed college corner, so let's keep it going because we're already an hour in. You want me to
On a
start or
roll.
you want me to start or you to start?
I don't think you deserve to start.
I don't deserve to start, so go ahead.
So, I also missed our football game, because we had our away weekend. Great effort. I applaud them for trying. I'm still at the point of the season where we better beat Rutgers this week, and then let's see where we play a bowl game. Hopefully, it's somewhere that I can go to. Right now, we're being projected in Arizona, which I
Boo.
don't know. That's a bit of a long trip.
Yeah.
Phoenix isn't that exciting
That's lame.
at this point in my life. I'm not like 40 years old. and a golf addict. So, um, but anywho, it was nice to see them actually compete against Ohio State, which is what happened last time Ohio State came here. They lost to them by 1 point. They really should have beat them. So I don't know. There's something about Ohio State coming to Maryland that I have issues with. But the real story is the 5-0 basketball team won the Mohegan Sun tournament this weekend in dominant fashion. They beat two. They're not ranked, but they're like probably bubble tournament teams in St. Louis and Miami. St. Louis is good. Like they beat Memphis and then they beat Providence, so they have quality wins already this season. And Maryland beat them by 27 points. Like that
Nice.
game was not close 10
Nice.
minutes in. Miami was a little bit closer. Like they ended up cutting it to 10 with like 6 minutes left. I started getting nervous, and then they showed me why I shouldn't be nervous. I think we won by 18.
Yep.
So it's like the offensive efficiency has been incredible. Like every player can score. It's almost like a pick your poison.
That's what I'm looking at it right now. The box score 17, 24, 14, 12, 13. All your starters can get a bucket.
And they actually have bench guys that can play, which is insane. Like last year, they literally had like they had 3 guys that actually came off the bench and played minutes, and only one of them could score points. So
Yeah.
now they actually have like options, which is very new. Their backup point guard Jahari Long comes in, plays good minutes. They've got like scrappy guys.
So you didn't even
So it's
you mentioned they're 5-0. Number 23.
ranked.
Ranked, baby.
Right? And it feels like it's the first time in forever. They were ranked like going into the start of last season.
Really?
Obviously, they were unranked after 2 weeks because they lost to George Mason and never sniffed the rankings again. But yeah, they were ranked at the start of last season. So that just shows you how subjective or like how unknowing the preseason polls are. But it's the style of basketball that's really exciting because it's so much different than what Turgeon did in terms of offense, particularly because he was always a good defensive coach, but the offense was always just like basically pass around until somebody can get kind of an open 3 and then they miss.
Sounds like
But
the
they have
Gamecocks.
guys that aren't like they cut really well, they're not selfish at all, and they're actually shooting the ball really well.
That's what it's all about.
Especially from 3.
And I feel like in college, you have your 4 stars and your 3 stars and your 5 stars. But when you got players that are smart, can cut, and are unselfish, you can get open layups and get open jumpers. So that's really what it's all about. And if you can design good offensive plays like that, turn around your whole team.
And those type of things, like that's coaching.
Yeah.
Like getting
agree.
guys to not play selfishly and to like learn how to move without the ball. Like that's comes from the coaching. That's not like obviously there are guys that are just naturally like better distributors or like better cutters and more athletic, but it stems like college sports in general. It's all about
Coaching
the
and
coaching.
effort.
Like
Yeah. And
right. Like the
unlocking
players play
unlocking
to
the
the
players,
style
yeah.
of the coach.
Yep. I 100%
So
agree.
that's what it's because it's not only like this season, like they're not winning a national championship this year. I guess you never know, but it's
you're
more
building
of
something.
like, look at what they're doing. Look at the way that they're playing under him just through 5 games,
Mm-hmm.
and like he's our guy, he's our coach.
Top of the conference right now.
They are. They're actually projected now on KenPom to finish like 3rd in the conference.
That's awesome.
It's
That's
insane.
that's crazy. So, back in Xfinity Friday, you gonna be there?
Friday I probably won't because I'll be with family.
Yeah, it's Copen State anyways.
Yeah. Juan
Coppin.
Dixon, coach at Coppin State.
Really?
Yeah, so he's a terrible coach, but obviously they love him in Maryland because he won us a national championship. So yeah, that'd be cool. I'm kind of bummed to miss that. And then they get Louisville, who's been dreadful,
Horrendous.
embarrassingly bad.
Yeah, they got blown out
Kansas
yesterday
football bad
by 78 to 30, or sorry, 70 to 38.
against Arkansas.
No, against Texas Tech, and then Arkansas they lost 54 to 80.
What was the Texas Tech score?
70-38. 38 in 2 halves.
Oh, I didn't realize that they got beat that bad.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
They're horrendous. They haven't won a single game.
So they lost their first 3 home games of the year were bye games, and they lost all of them by 1 point. And then they played a real team in
They got
Arkansas is not just
completely
like
blown
a
out.
like a decent
No, they're a
Power
good
5
team.
school. They're like a top 10. Like those guys can play. They have
Yeah.
like 3 5-stars. That's a good team. And Texas Tech too. Texas Tech is like consistently one of the best defensive teams in the country.
38 points in 2 halves.
That's oh my gosh.
That's nuts. So I wouldn't be too worried about them.
If they lose that, we were talking about like letdown spots.
Yeah.
That's a letdown spot game.
Oh,
If they lose
for
that game,
sure.
I'm gonna bawl my eyes out, I think. But the point of talking about the schedule is next Friday, Illinois comes to town.
Big
It's
game.
number
16.
16.
16.
They're projected to be top 2 Big Ten team.
Massive.
I mean, like,
Gotta
we gotta get Xfinity rocking.
It's gotta be. It's gotta be the home field advantage that seals the deal there.
Yeah.
Especially if you guys are still looking good. Maybe you're up to 20th or something like that. You guys are a little bit
Yeah.
closer. It's gotta be the crowd that takes care of business.
And it's like the thing that worries me is the students are not used to winning basketball.
Yeah.
Because like when I was growing up, I was used to a team that was good every year, and like I grew up going to games. They were always sold out. So like it became a culture thing. These last 2 years and COVID, like the kids that are coming in aren't maybe not thinking about
Call him out,
this
Chris.
is a
Call him
basketball
out.
school. No, I'm not, it's not even calling them out. It's like I don't want to say ignorance because it sounds rude, but like the team hasn't given them any reason to care since they've been there.
Yeah.
Like from my class down to the freshman class, like I know some of my friends that are seniors said that when they came to the school, like the culture was all the freshmen go to every game
Yeah.
because we were good.
Yeah.
So that's like all it takes is winning. It's not hard.
Oh, it changes everything for college sports.
Yeah.
I think, dude, this is the first true test of the new regime. And then you got Tennessee coming up.
They have a brutal
next week.
stretch. It's Illinois, Wisconsin,
Tennessee,
Tennessee,
UCLA,
UCLA.
St. Peter's.
Yeah. But
Those
those
and then
like, those are
UMBC.
all-
Two
That's right.
brutal and then back to Michigan.
The
Yeah,
Giant Slayers.
their schedule does not let up either.
Nope.
The Big
It's the
Ten's
Big
rough.
Ten, man. Like
Yeah,
they
the Big
have
Ten's-
well, and
it's the SEC of basketball.
right. If SEC never won a national championship, because they always have. This year is so perfect. At least like this past rankings, the Big Ten has 6 teams ranked, and the highest one is like number 12. It's like Indiana at 12,
Dude, it's the NFC
State at
Beast.
13, Illinois 16, Michigan 20, and then Maryland, Purdue, Iowa are 23, 24, 25. So they just beat the hell out of each other, and then they all get knocked out in the second round of the tournament. It's hard to watch.
It really is. It seems brutal. Just like, yeah, every team in our division's good, but none of us will ever win a championship.
Yeah, right. Like we're not that good. We're good enough to like beat up on each other and make people think that we're good.
That's crazy.
It's also a league that's like dominated by big men. And so that's like the one thing that they have a really good big man in Julian Reese, but behind him, it's very thin. Like they have a couple young guys that might be forced to play minutes. They haven't even played yet this season. And they've played some poopy teams. So if he gets into foul trouble, like they're
screwed.
They're done so. But, that won't happen every game, hopefully.
Yeah, no, he better not. He's got to realize that as a player.
Yeah.
They need him.
And he's a sophomore this year, so he's already grown a lot from last year, physically and mentally. Like last year, he was Lang would just bit off sometimes. He'd get fouls and like sit on the bench and not pout, but you could tell he was getting frustrated. So this year, like hopefully he's mentally tougher. He's gotten bigger, stronger. So he beats up on the little kids. And I'm including St. Louis and Miami as they're the little kids. The big kids are like the Indianas and Michigans. Oh, Michigan looks like dog crap right now.
They still have the coach who punched the guy last year.
That's Juwan Howard.
Yeah, Juwan Howard. That's
Yeah,
who.
he'll be there for a while.
Well, he's a Fab Five member. He's got to be there.
Yes.
All right, is it my turn?
Yeah, sorry.
No worries. I'm
got
all
ran with
for
it.
it. It's what it's for. It's what
Pack
college sports is
Xfinity,
for.
December 2nd, Illinois.
There you go.
Biggest game of the Willard era.
Of the new regime, yeah.
Right.
All right, let's talk about the Cox. Let's talk. All right, so I cannot believe I missed this game. I cannot believe it. So going in, let me explain my reasoning, and I think I explained it pretty well the past couple weeks about my feelings towards this South Carolina football team, where sure they were winning some games. You know, they beat Kentucky. They didn't have their quarterback. They beat A&M, but that was a good game, a good win. Followed up with a massive disappointment in Missouri, and then you took care of business against Vanderbilt, and then the Florida game last week was the nail in the coffin, where it was just I couldn't want to care about this team. I couldn't be hurt again by this team, and almost everyone not almost everyone I knew, because of course a 1,000 people I know went to the game, but a lot of people I knew were not even going. They were selling their tickets. They were making I made $50, selling the ticket. I probably could have sold it for
Wait, you sell your student ticket?
Yeah, I sold it to another kid who needed it. And so everyone had the same mindset that they were just gonna get whooped, and there was a whooping happening at Williams-Brice Stadium, but it was for the Carolina Gamecocks. The whooping was because of the Carolina Gamecocks, and it's because of Spencer Rattler. They finally let him. It seems like they let him throw downfield. The play calling, it was out of this. It was something I haven't seen all season. The pass blocking was well. They used Dakereon Joyner, which I don't know why where's he's been all year, because he was great in our bowl game last year and a key reason why we won. And the wide receivers played great. The tight end Jaheim Bell did great. It's tight end / running back, but yeah, did great. And Rattler threw 6 touchdowns. It's never happened in the school's history. And we stormed the field. It's everyone's dream as a college football fan. And here I am driving from Atlanta, listening to it on the radio.
Yeah, that's tough.
I got to listen to the whole second half on the radio. So I didn't because I was at an Atlanta Hawks game. That's what I did instead. I thought, this would be more fun. I won't even have to think about the Gamecocks getting their butt whooped by Tennessee. And it was the opposite. I was watching it on my phone almost half the game. But I mean, it's awesome. It was awesome. It was an awesome win. Something that I don't know when the next time I'll see, but getting a win like that gets more recruits. That shows that we can win. We can beat these top 5 teams. This is any given Saturday, and you put the right players around. You actually get some good play calls, and you can take care of business against anybody. So it was a great thing to see. It was great for the Shane Beamer era, and hopefully this brings a lot of recruits in, because I know a lot of recruits were there already for the game. So hopefully this secures a lot of their spots.
It was one of the more shocking, I'm not going to say upsets, but performances. Like, for Rattler to have the year that he's had, and every week we just come on and be like, he's just not good. Like, we don't understand. He's got it in him. Like, he's a top player coming out of high school. He's a Heisman favorite. He's been terrible all year. 430 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Against the best defense he's faced all year.
Yeah.
In the biggest moment. And so the South Carolina, the record is 7-4. The record at games that are at nighttime, 7-0. The record at games that are daytime, 0-4. So
Interesting.
I don't know if they just need like the extreme pressure on them to do something or what. But if this game's not in prime time, not on ESPN, they ain't gonna care about it. I
Yeah.
guess. But so hopefully, we face number 7 Clemson this week.
Oh,
Rivalry
that's
week
a letdown spot if I've ever seen one.
in Clemson too at noon. So it's like
Oh, yeah.
all the odds are back against the Gamecocks. So maybe it's
Right.
like maybe it's reverse psychology. It's like we're at noon. It's a big letdown spot. They're number 7 again. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe it puts on the switch or something.
Yeah.
So I hope they play with the same type of intensity. And you could hear I could hear it on the radio broadcast, but I'm sure you could hear it on the TV. Just the crowd, the noise coming from Williams-Brice. It was deafening. So that it must have been terrible to be a Tennessee player there. And I
Oh,
know
yeah, I bet.
for a fact because I knew a couple of people who knew Tennessee friends, and they came down. A lot of people from Tennessee came to town. They were getting harassed, harassed.
I feel bad for Tennessee. This was like the
If it
dream
wasn't,
season. and it
this was the
collapsed.
best season of their lifetime,
Yeah, collapsed
and
right before their eyes.
vanished into
Yeah.
Columbia, South Carolina.
Yeah, because you kind of knew, like, you knew you weren't better than Georgia. So that loss
But
was
you
like,
had
all right.
Bama. You had it. You were
You
there.
had the
You were
Bama
right
win.
there.
And then to just get trounced like that.
And it wasn't
That's
close the whole
Ohio
time.
State classic
Yeah.
is to go into Purdue and just
And
get steamrolled.
they've
Yeah, so
dominated
that's
every other
bad.
team besides
Oh, yeah.
Georgia.
Yep.
And I guess they didn't dominate Alabama, but
Right.
they
Pulled
beat
it out
them.
at the end. But yeah, I mean, it's like that's a game that you'll never forget. It's
No,
that kind of win.
it is.
And
And
it's like
that's
probably the defining win of the Beamer era so far now.
1000%.
Yeah.
The defining win before this was ranked Kentucky, like 20 or 20.
About
They
the
were ranked
Mayo
at
Bowl.
21. Oh, I guess, and they would be the Mayo Bowl. You're right. It would definitely be the Mayo Bowl. But now this is definitely his highlight game, and it will be for a while unless we keep this up, and I guess we face a lot of good SEC teams every year, so could be another
Mhm.
upset coming, but. They were buried. They were done for.
Yep.
This is gonna be the win. Maybe in his like if he say this Carolina team becomes decent enough where they're winning, they're getting a couple upsets every year. This would be the win because of
Yeah.
how buried they were. No one believed in them. Not a soul. Not even the fans. I didn't believe in them. I didn't think I was telling people I don't think we're gonna score a point.
You did say that.
I didn't think we were going to score a point. And we
You
scored
did say that.
Rattler threw 6 touchdowns by himself.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it doesn't make any sense. It's unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal.
Unreal.
Yeah, that's all you can really say about it. Like it was just, and I know Hayden Hooker went out. It sucks, but I just do want to mention that was like late or early in the fourth. So like it was an ass whooping the whole time.
Yeah.
All right, that's all I got.
Basketball?
Actually, women's
Oh,
basketball.
look.
No, I have something for the women's basketball.
Okay.
They got it. They got the dub.
was
It took
huge.
them to overtime. They had a competitive game against number 2 Stanford, but they pulled it out. They can win
You'll
these
see
gritty
him
games.
you'll see him in the national championship.
Yeah, it really will. And if not them, I mean, if Paige Bucket's even back, I don't know if UConn's any good this year, but
No idea.
yeah, they're
Assuming
they're still
really
killing
good.
it, and I'm glad they got I'm glad this was a close game.
Yeah.
It was
Teach him how to win.
Yeah, teach them how to win. Teach them how to play a close game. It works out. It's one of those stupid. Oh, it's good in the long run,
Right.
Good in the long run.
Even if they lost, you could say the same thing.
Yep, exactly.
Like, well,
Gotta
taught
learn-
him how to play in a close game.
Gotta
Now I
lose
know.
once. Gotta lose,
Gotta
once,
lose once.
right?
Can't get undefeated.
Men's basketball has not won a game since the Clemson game.
Oh, man.
Not a game. And Davidson was close, but towards the end, it really wasn't. And Look,
He
Gigi's playing like a 17-year-old. He can only do so much. The rest of the team needs to put up against him, and they're not hitting their shots. Not doing it. We lost to Furman.
Ooh, yeah, by a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
Furman scores a lot of points.
That's something. That's a compliment about it.
I don't know where I was going with that.
We don't score a lot of points. The Gamecocks do not score a lot of points at all. Like at all. I think we talked. I guess we talked about the Colorado State game, but they scored 19
yeah, we did
in that first half.
bet on it.
So
Yeah,
they have
80, 60, 53, 60, and 60. Man, you talk about consistency. 60 points a game.
60 points. That's the magic number to beat the Gamecocks.
The race to 60.
The race to 60. So Friday, I will still be in town. My parents are coming down here. They called me halfway through, so they must be here now. And I'll be there. I gotta cheer the team
Where-
back in. Huh?
Just leave your parents? Like
They have an Airbnb. It's not like they're staying at
okay,
my
I was
place.
gonna say.
They can figure it out themselves. But I'll be there, bringing the big brother too. So we gotta get these Gamecocks fired back up. They need to whoop them by a lot and score more than 60 points.
It's still early in the season. Like this, it's not an ideal start.
No, it's the
But-
first tournament. It's all right. We gotta take care. We're going to GW and Georgetown. We gotta take care.
Oh, okay. Maybe I'll go check out. Watch the Cox in action.
I mean, that'd be fun. It'd be worthy third. It's worthy to see GG. I think.
Yeah.
He's
I mean,
really,
Georgetown is a metro, right? Actually, GW is too.
Oh yeah, they're right. I mean,
wonder
they're right there.
GW still has this kid, Amisil.
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Let's see. No, he's not on the roster anymore. There was a guy, we played him last year, and there was this guy who we were having a lot of fun with.
Oh, you just
He
wanted to see
smiled.
if you could harp at him again?
He smiled too much, so we started chirping him for it.
Nah.
But he was one of those guys where he just loves it.
Mm-hmm.
So he was like giving it to us too, and then eventually he had a breakaway dunk and just threw down one of the best windmills that I've ever seen.
Oh my god!
And
Really?
we were silenced. It was actually a great moment, and he was just looking at us like, yeah, like what do you got now? We're
Yeah.
like,
What are you
"Alright."
gonna do now? That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet for the player.
Yeah.
So
And then we beat him by a bunch at the end, but at the end of the game, he walked over, threw a hand up.
that's
So
cool.
I was curious if he's still on the team.
That's cool.
Good guy.
I'm looking at their schedule right now. The Gamecocks, the basketball team. If we get the games at home, Presbyterian, Eastern Carolina, Western Kentucky, Eastern Michigan. Oh, that's Amani
Yeah.
Bates. I'm gonna see Amani Bates. That's sick. Actually, no, December 30th. I won't be there. But we need the crowd needs to be cheering, getting them on, getting them going. Just like we said, Pack Infinity, Colonial Life. They need to be packed for all these home games. Because if we're gonna get a fighter's chance to make it to the dance, if we're gonna dance, then we gotta be there.
That's what our
Be
football
loud.
coach says. He says, "Hey guys, if you want us to play better, then come to the games." I'm like, all right, well,
Well,
play
there-
better, and then we'll come to the games.
I'm a fan saying that though. Fill the
Yeah,
seats.
I know.
Fill the seats. Get these guys pumped up. That's all I got for the pod. Got anything else?
Spent.
Spent. I'm excited for this break. That's the last thing I gotta say. I had a freaking exam today. All my other classes canceled.
Oh,
And one exam.
brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal. All right.
It feels like break always comes around at the right time.
Yeah, I agree.
Like just when you need it, it's there.
Mm-hmm. All right, that does it. Thank you guys for listening. Go Pats! They play on Thanksgiving. I guess we didn't even talk. We didn't preview the
yeah, that's right.
Thanksgiving games, but
Lions are gonna look bad.
bad.
Cowboys play
I
the
don't
Giants.
like how the Vikings just lost in horrific fashion, and now we have to play them.
Bounce back game.
The bounce back. I don't like it. I don't like the bounce back odds.
That's tough.
All right, but
I'm probably gonna take them.
take the Vikings. crack.
I
whore.
know. Am I not allowed to?
You're a crack whore.
You tell me.
I know. I don't care. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sway your picks.
You're an A player then.
All right. Thank you all for listening. See you guys all on